Hey, you. Yeah, you. Are you ready to make a difference in your life? Good morning, Chainbreakers. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Tuesday, August the 6th. Wow, August. August already. August the 6th, 2019. And this is going to be a fantastic day because I've made the choice for it to be so. I want to welcome you here today to Chainbreakers 365 Live. We are live right now, whether you're catching it live with me or on replay. I want to thank you for being here today. Hi, I'm Brad Smith. I'm the host of Chainbreakers 365 Live and the creator of hashtag Uplift and Rise. And I want to talk today about the fact that you are always one decision away from a totally different life. So that's a quote from Mark Batterson, and I want to just make sure to give him credit for that. But you are always one decision away from a totally different life. So the question may be popping into your head right now, what is that one decision? Well, first of all, before you can really get into what that one decision is, what you need to do is understand that every single decision you make affects the outcome of your life. Every single decision you make affects the outcome of your life. And you will become more empowered to make a true change in your life when you realize that everything that happens to you is your choice. Let me repeat that. Every single thing that happens to you in your life is your choice. So whether you want to live paycheck to paycheck, barely getting by, barely scraping by, not knowing how you're going to take care of yourself and your family in retirement, or you want to live that abundant life that Christ has promised to us, totally comes up to your decision. So God can present all sorts of opportunities to us every single day, but it's your decision of whether you take advantage of those opportunities or not. So let's talk about decisions for a moment. So we can make good decisions, and hopefully being here listening to this video today, watching this video today, is one of those really good decisions because hopefully I'm making an impact that's connecting with somebody. And we can make some bad decisions. And, we've seen people in jail, drugs, alcohol, addictions, all sorts of problems. And those are clearly bad decisions. But every single decision we make affects how that our lives turn out. So even choosing not to make a decision is a decision. Let me say that again. Choosing not to make a decision is a decision. So if you choose not to take that step forward, to take that leap and move into that more abundant life, you've made a decision. You've made a decision to stay where you are. So let's talk about some of those positive decisions and negative decisions in our lives. And believe me, I've made a lot of them both directions. So I'm not going to go into all of the negative decisions, but I can tell you some of the negative outcomes. I have been in a position in my life where I have made very substantial incomes multiple times. And I have to say that in multiple times because I've also been down at the bottom. I have seen my house sold at a sheriff's sale. I have gone through bankruptcy. I've gone through divorce, not once, but twice. I have had times in my life where I've been estranged from my children. I've had times in my life where I've slept on the floor at friends' houses. And let me tell you, I choose to never be there again. But I've also, several times out of those really bad times in my life, I have made strong, positive decisions that have not only moved me forward, but have catapulted me into lives where I've made very substantial income. So I know how important positive decisions are made. I can also tell you that through those positive decisions, while I have been extremely successful in those positive decisions, and like I said, made very substantial income from those, I can tell you that recently I connected to a positive decision that has made more of an impact on my life than ever before. I heard it said earlier today that somebody was really out to make a change, that they really live to help people make changes in their lives. And believe me, that is what fuels me, is helping you achieve what your life's purpose is. But he then made in that next statement that before he could do that, he needed to take care of him first. That's where we disagree. Because here's the decision that I made that has made more of an impact on my life than anything. And that is, regardless of what happens to me, if I make the choice to move forward and live for helping other people, guess what? Opportunities start rolling in. Opportunities start happening. Positive things start connecting. You make more positive movement because now you're connected to people in such ways that they want to reach out and help you. But if you do it from a place of, I'm going to help you so you help me, you're never going to be there. You have to come from the position of a servant's heart. And it took getting there before I really realized the strength of that decision. That strength that started making such a positive impact on my life. And some of it was starting every single day from a position of gratitude. Starting every single day, writing down 10 things every day that I'm grateful for. Writing down 10 things every day, thanking God for the blessings that he's had in my life, that he's given to me in my life. And what do I see? More blessings that keep coming every day. I lay my head down on my pillow at night with a smile on my face, thinking and thanking God for what a fantastic day this has been. Not because my day was without trouble, not because my day was without strife. And if you were trying to get on with me yesterday, you knew some of the challenges that I dealt with technologically. And my day didn't get a lot better for a while, but it did. Because I never let go of the positive attitude, of the gratitude that I started with it first thing in the morning. I never let go of where I was going to be. Yes, it shook me up. Yes, it knocked me off kilter. Yes, I had trouble focusing for the rest of yesterday's show, but hanging on to it continues to open up possibilities. I want to thank you for being here with us today. This is a blessing to me just to be able to share this with you. And I hope that it's been meaningful for you as well. I just want to take a moment and thank a couple of people that have joined on, because I know you've been here lots and lots of days. Bill Schomburg, thank you for being here. Roger Bowen, thank you. Jeff Baker, thank you. Jeremy George, thank you. I want to thank you for being here this morning and just say, welcome, welcome. And if there is any way I can help you, please let me know. Because that is truly my life's purpose, is helping people achieve and live out the dreams and the heart and the life that they desire. So when they get to the end of their life, they can look back on very fond memories instead of the hurt and anguish of dreams never fulfilled. So part of this every day is we can make decisions. Some of them are going to be positive and some of them are going to be negative. And sometimes we don't know how strong or how positive they are until they roll on out. Sometimes we have to let circumstances play out before we know how good or how strong those choices have been. But I can tell you this, and this kind of goes back to a little bit of what we started in on yesterday. If you are stuck, believe me when I say this, stuck in your comfort zone, you are not in a position where you're in comfort. You are that vegetable that is sitting still on the vine, laying out on the ground in the garden. And what's happening to that melon, that eggplant, that cucumber, that whatever? It starts rotting. If you're not constantly green and growing, then you are now ripe and rotting. Again, I'm going to repeat that. If you are not constantly in a state where you're green and therefore growing, then you are ripe and you are now rotting. So I hope you kind of take that metaphor and use that today. Are you constantly in a state where you are learning, where you are improving, where you are taking assessment of yourself every single day to know, have I moved my life forward today? And if not, why not? What has kept me stuck being here? Is it that I sat it back and let life just kind of overwhelm me? Or did I take control and decide which way I was moving forward in my life? My youngest daughter last night participated in a pageant at a fair. And I was a little bit disheartened listening to some of the things that some of the other candidates did in their spare time. And sometimes what I heard was they like napping. They like binging on Netflix. They like watching whatever this particular show was. Why did that bother me? Because they're wasting their time. They're wasting their life. And while that might be entertainment or it might be restorative, it might be also a time and suck out of our life. If you are constantly moving forward, or in this case, if you're trying to achieve something where you're being recognized for being a standout in your generation, why are you taking credit for binge watching Netflix? We ought to be proud of the accomplishments that we're giving. Are we going to the nursing homes and we're giving back there? Are we giving back to whatever? There's lots and lots and lots of charities out there, folks. Are you giving to your local church? And I don't just mean tithing, I mean of your time. I guarantee you there are ministries that they'll be glad to plug you into where you can fulfill your more purpose for what God has called you for. So I challenge you to reach out and keep improving and making time for you and yourself and your family. Are you pouring into them and their lives? What I was pleased to hear was somebody who enjoyed spending time with their grandmother. Because they're not only feeding into themselves, but they're feeding into their grandparent. I don't know how old that grandparent is. It could be somebody roughly my age, or it could be somebody much older and near the end of their life. And one thing I know, when my grandmother was still alive and she was terribly suffering from Alzheimer's, she remembered things from her childhood much better than the lunch she ate 15 minutes ago. But because I spent time with my grandmother, who didn't even remember who I was, I got to listen and learn who she was. I got to learn and listen to what poured into her as a child that helped really define who she became in life. I learned about the struggles that she went through and the chores that she had to do and what she had to accomplish every day in ways that today we even take for granted. And I don't know that she ever would have told me those stories had she been totally coherent. She was telling me them because she was reliving them in her life. And she thought she was experiencing them that day. She was telling me about the dress she wore as she walked 2 miles down the lane to go catch the school bus. And the girls that she was walking down that lane with, and how they were struggling carrying this heavy load of books every single day. But I got to relate to my grandmother on such a different level than I ever thought or knew possible. She poured into me as much as I poured into her. And there were times, because she didn't even know who I was, that she really couldn't even carry on a two-way conversation. She would either more ramble about herself or she could just listen. And there were times that I went and opened my Bible, which included the last time I was able to visit with her. And I just opened my Bible and started reading to her. She had fallen and broken a hip, and she was on heavy medication and really had very little ability to even acknowledge I was in the room, let alone what I was doing. But I recognized when what I was reading to her started connecting, because she was trying to turn, she was trying to roll over, she was trying to look at me, because she recognized what I was pouring into her at that time. My grandmother passed away 2 days later, and I still to this day pray that what I did with her that day helped usher her across to her next life, to that next level for her. What are you doing with your time? Are you using it to grow? Are you using it to pour into others? Are you using it to make that difference in your life? Or are you using it to sit and binge watch on Netflix? Every single thing we do is a choice. And you are always one choice, one decision away from a totally different life. I want to thank you for joining me here today. I hope you keep coming back and joining us every single day at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Chainbreakers 365. If you don't get a chance to catch them live, hopefully you're catching them on replay. Say hello to me. I'll be glad to say hello to you, even if it's on replay. You can also find these same videos over on YouTube, where we post them at Chainbreakers 365, or you can find us at chainbreakers365.com. Thanks for being here. If you aren't a member of hashtag Uplift and Rise, I encourage you to do so. If you haven't gone into this page and liked Chainbreakers 365, again, I encourage you to do so. But don't just do that. Make a difference in somebody else's life. Reach out and invite them to be part of this as well. Thanks again, and we'll see you again this time tomorrow for Chainbreakers 365 Live. Have an amazing, awesome day.